Hello and welcome to Demystifying Mosaics. My name is Stephanie Jeffers and I'm going to show you how to do a simple mosaic project. Although the one I picked out isn't terribly simple, so sorry about that, but it's totally doable and just wanted y'all to know that if I can do it, you can do it. One of the things we like to do with our leftover scrap glass is to make mosaics. And what I do is I'll go get a simple plain picture frame from Walmart. These come 3 to a pack. You could also use a picture frame that you find at a thrift store. Doesn't matter. Just any old piece of glass. Some people like to do them on old window frames. Those look great too, but for this particular class we're just going to use a simple picture frame, inexpensive. We're going to make this a glass on glass mosaic, so we're going to take glass and we're going to glue it to this piece of glass, and then we're going to hang it in the window. So to get started, take the back out of the glass, back out of the picture frame, and then you can run a bead of silicone around the underside of the glass next to the frame to hold the glass next to the frame better. I'm just going to use the little tabs to hold the glass down. Both ways work. And you do the gluing on the front side, which is the same side as the frame, not on the back side. The back side is going to stay clear. So for this project, I mentioned that work with kids and mosaics a lot. I got a request to do a Rainbow Brite, not a Rainbow Brite, a Rainbow Dash. This is Rainbow Dash, My Little Pony. It's not too hard, but it's a little more complicated than a tree, so it should be fun. And whenever I get a special request like that, what I do is I go to the internet and I do a Google search for perler bead patterns, because really perler beads are just plastic mosaics. You're going to put the little beads down in a pattern to make a picture, and then you iron the perler beads, but the patterns can be used for stained glass as well. So that's what I'm going to use. I kind of borrowed this one from the internet and I blew it up to about the right size, so give us something to shoot for to make our Rainbow Dash. Okay. So we have our pattern, we have our glass that we're going to glue the stained glass onto. Next thing we're going to need is our colors. I went through the stained glass scraps that we have here at the store. You can find different colored glass either like at Hobby Lobby or at, I'm not sure Joann's has any, or if you're lucky enough to have a stained glass store next to you. Stained glass stores always have scraps. If you know somebody who does stained glass, you can ask them if to have their old scraps. Sometimes you can find them on Marketplace. Just Google stained glass scraps. You'll pay about $2 a pound. But you can get a nice variety from us artists. Like I say, we make a lot of scraps. So I picked out this kind of light blue because I think I want long-term, I want to be able to hang this in the window, so I want the light to pass through it. You could pick a more opal glass, so one that's not transparent, so you get a lot of color but you don't get any light transmission, or much light transmission. This type of glass looks really pretty if you are doing a mosaic on, say, a table, or if you're doing it on a stepping stone or a piece of concrete or something, or on a wall, tile wall. There's all sorts of ways you can do mosaics, but this will keep the color. It doesn't need light to make color. It just shows up and it's colorful. But like I say, you can't get light through it. So since we're doing a glass on glass mosaic, I want the light to be able to come through it. So that's why I picked transparent colors. So I picked out this kind of light blue for most of the body. I got quite a few pieces of that. That's going to be the body color. And then this particular pattern is outlined. We may or may not need to do that, but I did go ahead and pick out a darker blue just in case I decide to outline it. So I've got the darker blue, the light blue, and then for the mane and tail, we'll need a rainbow colors. So I've got red, orange, and yellow, green. That green you can actually see through pretty well, even though it's got a little bit of wispy in it. Green, blue, and this is a purple, which you can see once the light comes through. Otherwise it kind of looks kind of dark, but those are the colors I picked out for the mane and tail. So I will get started cutting down the pieces that we're going to need to make our picture. So I'm going to start with the red, and I'm going to use the mosaic nippers, which I showed you how to use in another video. And since these are kind of curvy pieces, I'm going to want to make curvy pieces on my glass. So in order to do that, I want to come close to the edge and use the way the glass breaks in order to make me some nice curvy red pieces. Okay, so let's see what I got here. I've got that. That's probably going to be enough for the forelock. And then I'll be able to cut these down, make them smaller to get them on the tail. So that should be enough for the forelock and the tail. So let's put those over there. And then we're going to go on to the orange. And again, I want to make curvier pieces, so I'm going to come over closer to the edge so that my resulting pieces that get sticked off are going to have a little bit of curve to them. Let's see if that's going to be enough. Okay, we got that. I might need a couple more. Always better to have too many than too few. Okay, so that'll work for the red and the orange. And then basically you're just going to proceed and do this with all of the different colors. But I am going to show you one quick different thing that you could do if you don't want to make tons and tons of pieces for your mosaic. What you can do is you can make each piece one solid piece. So I'm going to introduce another tool here, which is the glass cutter. This glass cutter and running pliers. So I've got other videos where I show better how to use them, but I'm just going to give you a quick lesson in these. And if you decide you want to make everything a specific shape, like one piece for the yellow, just trace it to the shape you pretty much want it to be. Then you take the glass cutter and pistol grip, you're going to hold it like this and run you want to create a score that creates a weak spot in the top of the glass, and then you're going to use the running pliers, which you can see have a little bit of a frown, so the screw part goes up, and then you line up the running pliers on the score and give them a squeeze, and it breaks the glass for you. So then you cut out the other side. Since this is a mosaic, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but we want it to be kind of close. So that's about right. So you could, if you wanted to, cut each one of the pieces out and just have them be one big piece. Once you're done with cutting the piece out, you want to clean it off, and I use 4/0 steel wool. It's the ultra-fine steel wool. You can get it at any hardware store. Just make sure it's either 3 zeros or 4 zeros, and that'll clean all the marker off of it. And then you could use that for your mosaic piece. Anyway, so that is 2 different ways to cut the pieces out that you're going to use to make your picture. Right, I'll be back after I finish cutting all these pieces out. I'm going to go ahead and go with the mosaic like this, and I'm going to finish cutting all the pieces out, and I'll be back in the next video and we'll start gluing them down.